Everyone, welcome and happy Monday. Today is a beautiful day. Hi, Giselle. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This weekend, I was not feeling well. I think it's the change of the weather. That's why I wasn't here, right? When the weather changes, my system changed with it. So I couldn't make it this weekend. But today, hence is Monday, I plan to take cards from How to Love Yourself just to start the week off strong. I also have the Guardian Angel cards. We can take one from them. One of my favorite books that I have with me is Don't Sweat the Small Things. Don't Sweat the Small Things. So I might read something from here, right? So let's see how that goes. Hi, YouTube. Can you hear me? Hello, Sakina. Welcome, beautiful lady. Welcome, welcome. Let me see if, all right, YouTube can hear me. Beautiful. Okay, let me light my sage. Thank you. Thank you. Whenever I wear blue, I'm always thinking of Yemaya, right? Mother of the ocean, the nurturing mother of all women. So I have grown to love blue because of Yemaya. Giselle, one of the ladies in the group requested a playlist, right? Requested a playlist for depression and anxiety. So I have made the playlist for depression and anxiety and I'll put it in the group. Hi, TikTok. Hello, hello. Thank you for the hearts. Hi, King James. Welcome. Let me see what other name. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We will start right now. We will start right now. So, like I was saying, one of the ladies in my group in the accountability network that we have, which is for motivation, mindset, and transformation on Telegram, and you can find the links in my bio wherever you're watching me from. One of the ladies requested a playlist of understanding depression and anxiety. So I made the playlist already. And I thought today would be a great day to talk about that as well, to dive a little bit. Giselle, are you still here? To dive a little bit in depression and anxiety. That's if it's something people are interested in. Okay, so let's start the cards, right? Let's start with how to love yourself. Put this down here. Let's start with how to love yourself. Hello, YouTube. Welcome. Pleasure to be back here again. This weekend I was under the weather, but I like to say I was above the weather and not under the weather. All right, so let's see which card comes out for how to love yourself. Good morning, Kine. How are you, Kine? Hello, Danko. Hi, pleasure to have you here. Just give me a minute. I have to block this person. I have told them before if they are drunk off of the Jesus juice. That's fine. Hi. So let's start with how to love yourself. Pick one card from the and then read it and break it down and see what it says. For today, I like to call Monday Money Monday. Two more shuffles, and if a card doesn't come, then we pick one. Hello, Julie. Julie Best World. Hi. Okay, one from How to Love Yourself. How to Love Yourself. And the deck is by Louise Hay. I'll take one from the Guardian Angels and we can pair them together. It's the start of a new week, a new day. So we started strong. Let's see. I have two cards from there. All right, let's go. So I have three cards here. The Guardian Angels, I have Manifestation, and I have Love. So let's start with How to Love Yourself. I am grateful for all the wonderful things in my world. That's the first card. I am grateful for all the wonderful things in my world. And then the back says, I express gratitude to the universe often, knowing that my thoughts are heard and appreciated. So we start this Monday with gratitude. If you've seen my post, that's what I post about today. It's about gratitude, doing what you love, enjoying what you're doing, right? Not sacrificing what you love, because when you sacrifice what you love, then it becomes the sacrifice. So let me read this one again. I am grateful for all the wonderful things in my world. I express gratitude to the universe often, knowing that my thoughts are heard and appreciated. Now let's go to the guardian angels. There's love, and this one is manifestation. Hi. I have to move this so I can see who's. Let's start with manifestation and then go to love. Manifestation. Believe in yourself, trust your instincts, and follow your heart. For in doing so, you shall manifest all your heart desires. The life you have for so long aspired to create will soon manifest. Hey, Babis. Welcome. Let's read that again. Manifestation. Like we have talked about for the regulars. Hi, love. For the regulars that have been here often, right? We've always talked about manifestation and how we are always manifesting. Everything we do is an aspect of manifestation. It all depends on if we are aware that in our everyday life, every minute, every second, we are manifesting. Manifestation. Believe in yourself. Trust your instincts and follow your heart. One problem that most of us have, I know I had it, was trusting my intuition. Trusting that I have the answers, trusting that I know what I want and I can do it, instead of asking everybody, what do you think? What should I do? What do you do this? About our own life. So believe in yourself, trust in your instincts, and follow your heart. For in doing so, you shall manifest all your heart's desires. There's also a saying that what you want wants you. The only reason that you want something or you keep thinking about it or you desire it, it's because it desires you too. The life you have for so long aspired to create will soon manifest. Love. Negative thoughts and feelings are sabotaging your pursuit of happiness. And like I said, when I first began, one of the ladies in our accountability group, and you can find it wherever you're watching me from, the link, it's the Telegram link, requested a playlist for depression and anxiety, understanding depression and anxiety, and how to heal depression and anxiety in a very practical way. And so this is profound, the card, because the beginning, the first sentence says, negative thoughts and feelings are sabotaging your pursuit of happiness. And most of the time, we don't even know that we are having negative thoughts, right? We are not aware, or we are not aware. I know that's how it was for me. I didn't know that the way I was thinking was negative. We, your angels, whatever you believe in, guardian angels, ancestors, spirit guides, Holy Spirit, Allah, are here to help you heal. Allow our healing light to flow through you. Allow our healing light to flow through your heart. Consciously infuse each negative thought or feeling with love and light. My last post, the last edit I made was Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard. And it talks about this. Consciously infuse each negative thought or feeling with love and light. Basically, feeling is the secret talks about how if you have a negative thought, you have to counter it with a positive thought. Good morning, Clayton. Feel both your heart and mind aligning to your soul's sacred purpose and unleash your divine potential through the power of love. Right? Let's read that again in full. Negative thoughts and feelings are sabotaging your pursuit of happiness. We, your angels, insert whatever you believe in, are here to help you heal. Allow our healing light to flow through your heart. Consciously infuse each negative thought or feeling with love and light. Feel both your heart and mind aligning to your soul's sacred purpose and unleash your divine potential through the power of love. And just from there, I want to read the post that I made today, and I posted it in our Telegram channel, which I call our accountability network. We're holding each other accountable because it embodies everything that I just read. Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard. The creative process begins with an idea and its cycle runs its course as a feeling and ends in action. So basically how you feel, hi Lotus, how you feel is how you run your life every day. Now I have had to learn that the hard way. Ideas are impressed on the subconscious through the medium of feeling. How you feel is how you act. And how you act, it's also how you feel. It's a never-ending cycle until you break it. No idea can be impressed on the subconscious mind until it is felt. But once felt, be it good, bad, or indifferent, it must be expressed. So whatever negative feelings that you have within yourself is what you express out there. Whatever positive feelings that you have within yourself is what you express out there. That's why in law of attraction, they say that what you really, really, really want, you get. And what you really, really don't want, you also get, right? So how you feel, right? So manifestation or making your dreams come true or your desires come into reality. I am learning. I mean, I've known this before, but then we go on and off. It's based on how you feel. Visualization too is based on how you feel. Do you feel gratitude when you think about your dreams and your goals? Do you feel good within yourself when you think about your dreams and your goals, right? So whatever moves you to that feeling of feeling good, feeling great, feeling abundant every day moves you closer to your dreams and your goals. But the less you feel good, sad, depressed, anxiety, the lower vibration, that is the same thing that you manifest to. We as people manifest. Feeling is the one and only medium through which ideas are conveyed to the subconscious mind. If anybody, mostly the people that watch, have experience some type of depression and anxiety, right? And when you are in that depressive state, it's very hard to create. You can't focus, you can't concentrate. On Friday, was it? We did a video about it, or was it Thursday? Because I wasn't feeling well during the weekend, but we talked about this. How when you are depressed and you are anxious, you feel overwhelmed, you're overthinking, you're ruminating, you can't focus and you can't concentrate. And when you cannot focus and you cannot concentrate, you are not able to create whatever it is that you want to create, because there's no creative feeling within yourself, right? Feeling is the one and only medium through which ideas are conveyed to the subconscious mind. Therefore, the person who does not control their feeling may easily impress the subconscious with undesirable states. I hope this is making sense. Hi, Wolf. Hope this is making sense. Let me read that part again. Feeling is the secret. The creative process begins with an idea, and its cycle runs its course as a feeling and ends in action. Ideas are impressed on the subconscious through the medium of feeling. No idea can be impressed on the subconscious until it's felt. But once felt, be it good, bad, or indifferent, it must be expressed. Great morning, Wolf. Great morning. Feeling is the one and only medium through which ideas are conveyed to the subconscious. Therefore, the person who does not control their feeling may easily impress the subconscious with undesirable states. When you hear about emotional intelligence, controlling your emotions, controlling yourself, all that good stuff, the bottom line is when you are not able to control your emotions or control yourself, that's basically what you produce out there. That's what you manifest. That's what comes out in your reality. So you might be wanting one thing, but you feel very different from it. So you end up manifesting two things at the same time. Good morning, great morning. Manifesting two things at the same time, right? And one of them is what you wanted, but it comes in a much more painful, added with some of the other things that you didn't want to manifest. And that's all depending on how you are feeling in your everyday life. Because always remember, we are always manifesting. Whatever you are thinking is what's going to come out in your life. Hi, Victoria. Whatever you are thinking is what you produce out in your life, right? Nene, demal si fridge bi, nga indil mo sa mga bottle ndaw bi, please.
Like your cleansing bottle?
Yeah, the bottle.
The straw.
The Nutribus, yeah, the straw is in it. Okay, so let's continue, right? The feeling is the secret. Therefore, the person who does not control their feeling may easily impress the subconscious with undesirable states. By control of feeling is not meant restrain or suppress. Mind over matter. Thank you so much, Wolf. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Fatimata. I feel good. I feel a lot better than how I felt during the weekend. Yes, mind over matter, right? Being able to control yourself and control your emotions. But like it is said here, it doesn't mean you suppress your feeling or you are in resistance, right? Especially a lot of women do this, but predominantly we see it with our men who maybe were raised in a way, thank you, were raised in a way that they were not taught how to express themselves, how to express their feelings. Like I always say, there's nothing wrong with masculinity, the ego, right? And there's the good aspect of the ego because it can help us in everyday life. But there's a certain extent where it goes from greed to jealousy, overthinking. All of these can be different aspects of the ego. And these are the things that restrain us, suppress us from moving forward, and then we get stuck. But like I was saying, and I always say this when I come on live, masculinity is healthy, at least in my opinion, right? There's nothing wrong with masculinity. There's nothing wrong with aggression either when it comes to men, because it is in their nature. But it all depends if the person has control of their masculinity and their aggression. Anger in itself is healthy. TikTok, especially, I pinned that post by Maya Angelou where she was talking about how healthy anger is because those emotions, they are all the same. Joy, nervousness, excitement, anger, love, excitedness, it's all the same emotion. It all feels the same. But it all depends on how we interpret it in the mind. And all of those are creative. They are part of our creative nature. You will hear some people say that the time they can create the most is when they are stressed out. In the real world, that's how stress is embedded in the school, in what we do when it comes to content creation. We're always put on edge, right? Your soul is always on fire. That's stress because it lights you up. So there's a healthy aspect of all of these things. Now, like Wolf is saying, the ego. Now, if you go the other side, that's where it becomes toxic in both men and women, right? There's people say toxic masculinity, there is toxic feminine, there's toxic everything. And that's because if it's not balanced, when you're able to control it, that's when it's balanced. The masculine, the feminine, your emotions, your anger, and all of these things, right? By control of feeling is not meant restraint or suppression of your feeling, but rather the discipline of self to imagine and entertain only such feeling as contributes to your happiness. That is why the crazy thing is you believe in what you do. Just give me a moment. I think I have entertained this person enough. So I'm just going to block them. Right? Block them. They don't believe in what I do, but yet still they're on my life. That's crazy, right? You don't like what I do. You don't believe in what I do. That's fine. Scroll on. I'm not begging people to stay, am I? Right? Just, okay. Right. I was about to say, yeah, block them. The button is close by. I was about to say, yes, Fatimata, you are here. You are in the Telegram group. And for anybody who wants to be a part of the group, because I mean, I would love to have more people in there. Wherever you're watching me from, you can find the link in my bio. What I usually do, I believe in affirmations because I have used them for myself to reprogram my mind, to think about myself differently. Affirmations and prayers, I use all of them, right? So what I would normally do is create playlists because the more that you listen to these things, the more you are entertaining the feeling that you want. Because there's a saying that we want money because of the feeling it gives us. Freedom is a feeling, right? We want money because of the feeling it gives us. Some of the material stuff that we want, it's the feeling that we have from them, the feeling of relief, the feeling of freedom, right? Like the card, this one, manifestation. Manifestation said, believe in yourself. Trust your instincts and follow your heart. For in doing so, you shall manifest all your heart's desire. The life you have for so long aspire to create will soon manifest. But for that to happen, TikTok is a very exhausting platform. But for that to happen, you need to feel it. You need to feel it in. You need to feel it in. The last post that I made on all platforms is affirmations asking you questions. Questions that you should ask yourself every day. How would I feel if I had the amount of money that I'm manifesting? How would I feel if all my debts were paid for? How would I feel if my house is paid off, my cars are paid off? Hello, Stephens. I don't want to say your name wrong. Cinquetta? Is it Cinquetta? Stephens, welcome. So how would I feel? I'm saying this not because I am an expert in it. Yes, Cinquetta, I got it right. I'm saying this not because I'm an expert in it. I am learning it. Right. And today, just today, I was listening, well, from last night, I was listening to those affirmations, asking yourself questions of what you want. You want a house, you want a car, you want to go on vacation, or you want to live a life. Hello, Jay Bye. Or you want to live a life or create a life where you don't need a vacation. I don't know about anybody, but for me, that's the goal that I have, right? My ego is the steering wheel of my emotion. Understand? My ego is how I change my outcome. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Because, great. Because what get triggered in you, in us, is our ego. Is what gets triggered. It's not us who is getting triggered. It's whatever idea that we have of ourselves that usually gets triggered. But like I was saying, when you ask yourself these questions, whatever it is that you want, ask yourself, how would you feel when you get that? That's also called living in the end. If none of you know who Neville Goddard is, there's a lot of people on YouTube who's using his teachings, right, to talk about these things. Thanks for sharing. I used it this morning while journaling. Great, wonderful. The one I posted, yeah, that's the one I'm listening to now. Right? Neville Goddard talks about living in the end. And to live in the end is living in that feeling. That feeling. I remember where I am now, even though I want to move, where I am before I moved here. And also, a very good tip for you. When you look back in your life, Neville Goddard. Um, when I'm done with the live, I posted it in the group. I'll tag you in the last post that I made, and you can follow that. His name is Neville Goddard. He passed away a long time ago, but his teachings are still very relevant. Yes, ask formation. I write that, ask formation. Thank you. You're welcome. I'll tag you in the group to let you know which one it is. Because living in the end is right. What I was saying, when you look back, okay, let's do this exercise together because I have done it before and I've had to realize or go back to it. Instagram, I'm sorry. I have the selfie stick tripod on the table and I like leaning on the table, even though they tell us not to do that. So look back into your life, in something that you manifested, something that you wanted in your life, and now you're living it. Because whatever life we're living right now, we thought about it at some point or we manifested it at some point in our life. So when you look back, there's something that you really wanted to have, and then it came to life. You got it. For me, this place that I am living, before I moved in here, I saw it. I wanted to be in a place like this. And before I moved here, excellent, absolutely. Oh, Wolf, wonderful. Yes, you got what I'm saying. And I am sure Fatima to understand what I'm saying. Oh, I'm going to buy it to you. I'm kidding. But at some point before I came to my new apartment, to where I am now, I remember at that time I was somewhere around Harlem. And I loved that area because it was very vibrant. But I was ready to move out of there. So every time, every day, when I have time, I would go sit. See, in Harlem in New York, there's in the middle of the road, in the middle of the street, the highway, the very busy street, there are sometimes little parks in the middle with seats where you can sit. So I would go and sit there and I would just so feel at peace. And it feels like I already have the apartment that I wanted. I already had the place that I wanted to move in. Greetings, Blacker. Greetings. I already had everything that I wanted. Can you remember a time where that happened to you as well? And within a month or so, I moved out of there and got the place that I wanted. Now, but if we don't remember that, then the next thing that we are trying to bring into our life or trying to manifest is difficult to get. Why? Because we tend to forget. So the feeling, living in the end. You want a car? What car do you want? What model? How much does it cost? What are you going to do in terms of when it comes to work? Do you have a business? I never like saying, do you have a job, right? Because I don't believe in jobs and I've never liked jobs, so I don't talk about jobs. I had jobs and I was miserable. Do you have your own business? Can you break down the amount of money that you need or that the car is going to cost? Right? And let's not talk about financing or any of that. Let's talk about being able to pay it off completely in one go. How much does that require? And can you ask yourself, if you had that car, yes, a successful business, yes. If you had that car, how would you feel? And in the Telegram group, Fatima, you're already in the Telegram group. I have an accountability network. I call it accountability network because they hold me accountable and I hold them accountable. I will share a very interesting video, Fatima, from my mentor, one of my mentor, where he was breaking down, right, talking about the same thing, right, the feeling. When you can imagine it, you can you entertain only such feeling as it contributes to your happiness. And also from the beginning, it said the creative process begins with an idea and its cycle runs its course as a feeling and ends in action. And he was telling us, well, it was for us the students, so we can edit it, but I can edit it and share it in the group. Yeah, he was talking about you have a dream. We all do. We all want something. Either you want healing, either you're manifesting whatever amount of money, $100,000, $1 million, whatever it is, right? There's something that we want. So your dreams, have you ever sat down to say, if you are a man, this is the type of wife that I want. This is, if you're a woman, this is the type of husband that I want. This is the amount of money that I want to make every day, especially because that makes it more specific. If you have a business, right? For example, Fatimata, how many products do you want to sell every day? How many people do you want to recruit in the business every day? You write it down, right? Whatever your bills or your expenses are, you double it. How much do you want to earn every single day? You break it down. When you get your money or when you get your dream, who are you going to be? How are you going to look? How are you going to talk? How are you going to act? Which places are you going to eat? Or if you are at home, what surrounded you? Which country do you live? Are you in America? Are you in Europe? Are you in Africa? Are you in the Caribbean? Do you have a chef? Do you have a chauffeur? Do you have a driver? All these things, right? People, the deeper, it's just like depression. Depression takes you down the rabbit hole. But in creating your dream too, you need to go down the rabbit hole of your dream. Go deep, be specific, to the point where if somebody wakes you up in the middle of the night and asks you, what is your dream? You can just spit it out the same way that we spit out negativity. So the thoughts of our dreams have to overpower. By control of feeling is not meant restraint of or suppression of your feeling, but rather the disciplining of self to imagine and entertain only such feeling as contributes to your happiness. Control of your feeling is all important to a full and happy life. One thing that, well, I had to unlearn and relearn again. one thing that many of us used to say is that, oh, feel how you feel your feelings. We talk about this. Feel your feelings. We tell it to both men and women. It's important to feel our feelings. But if you're not able to control what you are feeling, this is when the problem comes. This is when we become suicidal because we can't control it. Shootings, killings, drama, chaos, trauma, parents hitting their kids, fighting, because we are feeling what we feel, but we can't control what we are feeling. It's overpowering us. That's what I was telling someone, that a lot of things that happened to me, I just started to feel like it was something that made me, yeah, the person up, yeah, that made me do, yes. So when you are able to control what is it that you're feeling, control of your feeling is all important to a full and happy life. And for me, hearing that from a man, in, in terms of men being able to control their feelings, feel it, but still control it, it opened my mind. Because just like society, everybody says, right? Toxic masculinity, blah, blah, blah. Men should be able to cry and all of these things, which is great. They should be able to do all of that. But then I realized, even for myself, when I wasn't able to control how I feel or be aware of what's going on within me, that's when I had the destructive habits that I had. I have something that I wanted a few years and didn't have, but now I'm grateful I didn't get. Yeah, point out something's great. I'm ready to receive it, manifesting, praying to get it by divine timing. Exactly. Right, exactly. That's a sweet spot to be in. It's a subtle but sweet spot, right, where you're ready for what you want, but you're just flowing, you're in the flow with it. Sometimes I have a problem with that because I'm learning to be more patient. Never entertain an undesirable feeling, right? It goes back to the first card that we got, which is gratitude. I am grateful for all the wonderful things in my world. I express gratitude to the universe often, knowing that my thoughts are heard and appreciated. If you look at the things that I post, it's very intentional for me. I post things with intention. Sometimes one post can take me anywhere from 2 to 3 hours to create, from finding the words, because I go back to read it. Because I go back to read my own stuff, right? I heard this from Les Brown, where he said that he usually would go back to his own tapes that he made to listen back to himself and the advice he's given and use it for his own life, right? So even in the Telegram group, the things that I post there, they're intentional, because whenever I forget or I am overwhelmed, because all of these things happen to me, I can go back to the group and scroll and read. One of the things too that we were taught in the real world as part of marketing, right? Two things. And they teach us differently in the real world. Our marketing professor, marketing and sales, he said that sales, many people misunderstand sales. Sales and marketing is not about the next person. It's about yourself. When you create a video, how do you feel? When you write something, how do you feel? Because if you don't feel good in what you are creating, then the audience that's watching you, they don't feel good either about the video. If you're selling something and you don't feel good about it, you don't believe in it, then the next person you're talking to is going to feel the same way. Feeling is the secret, right? So gratitude. I express gratitude to the universe after knowing that my thoughts are heard and appreciated. Your thoughts are heard. Who hears your thoughts? You hear your thought. I hear my thoughts. But some people can't. At least for a long time, I couldn't. But the more you are aware of what you're thinking, the more you'll be able to hear your own thoughts. Do not dwell on the imperfection of yourself or others. Because we have talked about this a lot. Whatever you think about somebody else, whatever you feel about somebody else, is a manifestation of how you feel about yourself. It's not necessarily about the next person. It's about you. To do so is to impress the subconscious with these limitations, right? And that's in connection with the other card that we got, which is love. And I'll read it. With these limitations, you are already that which you want to be, and your refusal to believe this is the only reason you do not see it. So the card, love. Negative thoughts and feelings are sabotaging your pursuit of happiness. We, your angels, insert, like I always say, whatever you believe in, are here to help you heal. Allow our healing light to flow through your heart. A lot of people are resistant, and because they are resistant, they cannot get what they want, what they need. A great person who's coming to mind about this issue is Abraham Hicks. Consciously infuse each negative thought or feeling with love and light. Feel both your heart and mind aligning to your soul's sacred purpose and unleash your divine potential through the power of love. I know that for now, what I'm doing now is what I have to do. Because when I'm doing it, I'm present. I'm here. It feels very meditative. What I'm doing feels like I am meditating. So it's very creative as well. It's one thing that I do. I didn't know that I would enjoy video editing as I do now, editing my own content. Because when I'm editing, I just get in the flow. Feel both your heart and mind aligning to your soul's sacred purpose and unleash your divine potential through the power of love. So if you're doing something now and it drains you, it exhausts you, right? And you just, maybe it's not what you're supposed to do. It doesn't mean that you do what you love or you only do what you love. But within that doing, what is it you love, there are some things that maybe you don't enjoy a lot, but you have to do it. But predominantly, what you are doing makes you feel alive. You feel alive doing it. TikTok is so dark today because the outside is cloudy. Okay, that's all I had for today. And I promise that I will touch on depression. My fireplace froze. Yeah, I froze it. You want to come unfreeze it? I mentioned that I'm going to talk a little bit about depression and anxiety, right? In terms of the thing that the playlist that I created, and I'll share that in the Telegram group as well. So this is the basis of it all. Depression and anxiety is a feeling. Negative thoughts and feelings are sabotaging your pursuit of happiness. Happiness is not a thing, right? It's not a destination. It's a feeling. Yeah, depression and anxiety. It's a feeling that you have, happiness. And when you are depressed and anxious, like I said in the beginning, you can't create. You can't create. You cannot live your life. You can't be yourself because you're ruminating. Depression is living in the past. Anxiety is worrying about the future. So the two go together. Because the moment you feel depressed, you start wondering about the future. Oh, I'm never going to make it, or this or that, this is going to happen. And then you just go spiral all the way down. And let me see. Did I open it? And I'm also Jainar. Which Jainar is that? Which Jainar is that? Jainar Banjul? Our Jain? Or which Jainar? Fatmata, give me our Jain. Woo! Our Jain. Our Jain naka def. Ana sa natal bi. Luta def lo sa natal bi. Si sa TikTok. Send me a message TikTok. Fatmata, yeah. Tell me, what is it what's a pressing question that you have about depression and anxiety? And anybody on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, please give me a question that I can delve into. Because people feel depression and anxiety differently. There's something called functioning depression. How is it called again? Functioning depression or something, right? Where you're depressed. Overthinking is what you want to talk about. Overthinking is ruminating. Overthinking is, it can be a habit as well. You have a habit of overthinking. So you basically have to break that habit just like any other habit, because overthinking is also destructive. Someone I know, not someone I know, one of our professors, I think, yeah, our sales and marketing professor too, he would always tell us, because most of the time when we are creating content in the school, most of us overthink what we are doing inside of the campus. And so he would always tell us that overthinking is an excuse to not make a decision. Because when you overthink for an hour, then now you have the opportunity to say, I don't know what to do. I cannot choose. So to force us to choose, he would always tell us overthinking is an excuse to make a decision. And just think about it. I never thought of it like that, but it happened to me where I am overthinking so much. I just let everything go. And I don't do it. Overthinking, procrastination, self-sabotage, imposter syndrome. And the definition that we were given for imposter syndrome is, imagine you're making a lot of money, whatever your creative endeavor, right? We don't talk about jobs here. Whatever your creative endeavor or your business is, you are making a lot of money. Depression and anxiety can make us not function and be able to do stuff happen there. Right, right? But let me finish that thought. Yes, depression and anxiety cripples you. It shuts down your creative juices. So our professor was saying that imagine whatever your creative endeavor is, you're making a lot of money, whatever you're doing, your business, and then you just sit down one day and think, I can't believe I'm making all this money. How am I making all of this money? Is this real? This sounds too good to be true. This is too easy. But maybe you learn the skill. Like for me now, I am not the best video editor on my campus. I'm not the best content creator. There are content creators over there who are just absolutely wild, right? But for me, I have to remember when I'm doing it, not to feel like a fraud and believe in what I am doing. Like if I do something and then it goes viral, or I do something and a lot of people like it and it has a lot of comments. Before I would cower down and go, oh my God. They would feel like it's not real. That's what imposter syndrome is. I wish people around us would be more compassionate because their triggers can trigger the anxiety for me. Is when you have kids, boom, I start overthinking on stuff. Well, that's not other people, right? Because you wishing, it's like you wishing other people to change, but you don't change, which is a just perpetual, that's going to put you more in depression. You can't stop other people from whatever they feel. We can't control other people, right? That's a very important point. Right. But this is general, actually. This is everywhere. I have learned that that's a problem where most societies have that problem. And I'm reading from my Instagram, especially for us women, right? Where we're told, when are you getting married? And then you get married. When are you having kids? And then you have kids. When are you having another kid? And then you have another, when are you having a third kid? It's like, okay, when can I take a break? Maybe you got married, maybe you don't want kids, maybe you want to wait before you have kids, maybe you want only one, maybe you want only two, right? But societally, it's not just African. I have heard it in the Latin community. I've even heard about it in the white community. I've heard about it in every community, from people I know, from the podcast I did in the women's app. Women all around the world are suffering from this, right? Abandonment issues, Diane. Why do you feel abandoned? And why do you want to talk about abandonment issues? What is bringing that up in you? While you answer that question, let me finish this. What is bringing that up? Why do you want to talk about it? Where is that thought or that feeling coming from? Can you find the root where it's coming out of? No parents. Okay, let me finish here and then we'll talk about that abandonment issues. So, what you are asking, Fatimata, is basically what Wayne Dyer always talk about, how his patients, because he was a therapist, some of his patients will come in and tell him how they want everybody to change, but they don't want to change. You wishing that people will have more compassion is basically you wanting to control people. And that's not going to work. I'm sorry. Hi, Black and Shine. I can tell you, oh, people are crazy, people are this, or I can just go straight to the truth. And I'm going straight to the truth, right? Look at it this way. You hear a lot. There's a book called The Art of Not Giving a Fuck, right? So it doesn't matter. People will say how they feel, people will say what they want, people will feel entitled to ask you personal questions that trigger you. But that also depends on how deep and how far you're willing to go within yourself to understand why is it that when people say, when are you having a child, you get triggered. Why is that triggering you? Because I get that questions too. Oh, your daughter's 7. So when is the next one coming? And I'm like, I'm done. If you have one, bring your child and I'll babysit for you. You see what I'm saying? So it's a matter of going down the road. Don't ever think about, I wish people would. Always think about when people say this, it makes me feel this way. Why am I feeling that way? And where is it coming from? Seriously, people tell me that even in my neighborhood. What are you waiting for? Your child is big. She is, at that time, she was 6 years old. And when we don't see another one yet, what's going on? And I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. But I can be the cool auntie and I can take care of everybody's child because at the end of the day, they all go home. But when you have a child, you can bring them to me and I'll babysit them. I don't have a problem staying home with the kids. I would rather hang out with the kids than hang out with the adults. But me giving birth, I'm done. Right? But there was a time where that will drive me crazy when I hear that. And us women, we hear that a lot. Oh, you are 18. You're not married yet. You go up to 30. You are 30. You're not married. Oh my God. When are you getting married? You're going to die. This, and that. What is it triggering? It's not people who are triggering you. There's a thought and a feeling, something that you were raised with, that it's touching the ego aspect of you. And Diane, right? That's what it's triggering. Diane, you talked about abandonment issues. Yeah, so can you figure out what it's triggering when people say you don't have kids yet? What are they touching in you? Where is that coming from? Diane, you talked about abandonment issues. Abandonment issues, no parents. I mean, in my experience, abandonment issues doesn't matter with parents or without parents. I had parents and I had abandonment issues. Right? You can live with your parents at home, both mother and father, grandmother, the whole 9 yards, and have abandonment issues. And you can have no parents and have no abandonment issues. You can be from a single parent household, mother or father, and have abandonment issues. Or you can be from single parent and have no abandonment issues. It's not necessarily about no parents. It's a traumatic experience of how you were raised, right? The people that took care of you, how did they raise you? How did they show you love? Or how didn't they show you love? Right? Because I had my mother and father. And I had like painful abandonment issues. So it's not the no parents. Dig a little bit deeper. How were you raised? How was your childhood? How did they show you love? Or did they show you any love? Were you ever hugged? Did somebody die at a very young age and you were not able to grieve them in a healthy way? right? Where you were raised. Your mother wasn't there when you were crying. No hugs. Okay. I know the feeling of no hugs. Fear of rejection, right? Fear of rejection. I know the feeling of no hugs. I lived with my mother and she never hugged us, never hugged me. So, so now, okay, Diane, are you a man or a woman? Because I'm not familiar with the name Diane. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Are you a man or are you a woman? My therapist and I had mine was more of overthinking what people think and judging me because coronavirus always in freeze. You are a man. Okay. So, okay, that's a little bit hard for me, right? Because for me, I had to be the mother that I needed, which is why if you look anywhere, I always put that my vision is to create a home for people who never felt at home. And if you are a man who's into women, then, or just in general, you might have to surround yourself with women who are nurturing, who are in touch with their feminine, right? But you yourself will have to heal that feminine, that mother wound within yourself. Now, I don't know how men do this. I am in the real world. I listen to Andrew Tate. When men talk to me, I tell them, look into Andrew Tate's teaching, but I know not everybody like what he says. But I know his school has been very healing for me, right? Because the image, whatever image he puts outside and what we do in the school is completely different. So how men do it, I cannot tell you, but balancing your masculine and feminine, higher frequency, right? Because if you're not able to heal that mother wound within yourself, it can disturb or it can destroy the relationship that you have with any woman, be it friendship, be it romantic, be it work. You might start to look at women differently. I know because before I went through my healing journey at a deeper point, I dated a guy who had the mother wound, but these are things that I couldn't see, and he doesn't like women because he was traumatized by his mother. So if you are a man who is into women, I would be curious to know how your relationship with women have been and what types of women have you been attracted in your life. Because the relationships that we get, friendships, platonic, whatever it is, it's always from or a direct copy of the way that we were raised. Hi, Slovakian, my Slovakian sister, welcome back. Okay, Georgian, people think and Georgian me. Okay, so you are Georgian yourself, Fatumata. You are Georgian yourself, remember that. Before people judge you, you judge yourself. That's because the way that we were raised, and I know what you're talking about, we're from parents who predominantly judged us, judged whatever we did. And I wonder if Diane felt like this when he was growing up as well. Feeling judged is part of abandonment issues, right? Being afraid of rejection. People are going to reject you. People are not going to like you. How people feel about you, what people think about you. People pleasing. So you Fatmata, for your case is understanding how you judge yourself first. When you understand how you judge yourself, then you see that most of the time people are not judging you. Hi, Bonner girl. I saw your TikTok. I didn't know that you were a comedian. Or did I get the wrong one? No, it is you. When you told me to make you a moderator, I realized I wasn't following you because I rarely go on TikTok. And then I checked you out. I was like, oh, she's a comedian. Okay. No wonder she's been dropping these funny stuff. Growing up, yes. So it was hard. You see? Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Right? You were judged. You always felt judged. So whatever you do now, you always feel judged. Right. It doesn't matter, romantic or not. It can still have an effect in how you see women in general. Not in terms of being gay, because I don't know. But you the even the friendships that you have with women. Oh, you love making jokes. Okay. Okay, but right, Diane? So even being gay and dating other men, do you always feel like you have to hold on to whoever you were with romantically, friendships, you have to hold on to it, or they're going to leave you? Or do you ever think in your mind, okay, so this person that just came into my life, when are they going to leave me? They're going to leave me at any point. People never stay in my life. People always leave me. Do you ever have these thoughts? Right? Do you feel like you don't deserve being loved and that you have to work for the love that you get? Do you ever feel that way? Like people don't understand you. People judge you. Do you feel that they judge you in general, or do you feel that they judge you because they are gay? Because it can go so many different ways, right? In the way that you feel it. But the short answer is yes, fear of them leaving. And yes, I feel like exactly, because this is what you had to do as a child, or just the way that you were raised. This is how you saw it. Children, when our parents don't explain to us what's going on, we can see it just in our way, just interpret it in any way. So you're afraid that it's I think the basically is being a people pleaser. Have anybody ever told you you are an empath? Have you ever been around toxic men, toxic women, toxic environments, drama, a lot of chaos? You feel like there's no structure in your life. Very empathic. Now, empathy, okay. My interpretation of being an empath is basically being a toxic person. Because I was always called an empath. And so that's toxic. You have to be nice to be liked. That's toxic, right? If you go deeper down into what we call being an empath, there's so many toxic traits and destructive habits that we picked up. And these are all coping mechanisms, right, that we picked up as children. If your mother didn't love you, if your father didn't love you, if both your parents are emotionally unavailable, if your parents physically, mentally, emotionally abused you, if as a child somebody in the family or somewhere else, right, manipulation. somebody else sexually abused you. All of these can be that. Us, empaths, we are just as manipulative as the narcissist. So I am sure you attract a lot of narcissists, just like I used to do. And we attract them because we are narcissistic. We give, 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 give. And then narcissists take, 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 take. But the reason that they take is because we give. If we don't give, there's nothing to take. Making sense? Right? So the being nice, the hearts of humanity of the cosmic. Right. Okay, ancient insight. For your healing, right, Diane? I hope you're listening, right? Being an empath, if you go deep to your healing journey, you will see why you attract the type of people that you attract into your life. When you heal that, or when you're able to overcome that, that is when you get to the point where ancient insights is saying, but you are not there yet. So right now, do not believe in the saying that empaths bridge the world or they're the compassionate from the narcissist. That's why we are easy target. Yes, because we share the toxicity. Exactly, Giselle, right? Do not believe in the beauty of the empath yet, because you haven't opened that portal or whatever it is yet to fully live in that compassionate, loving, energetic beauty of the empath. You are still in the low vibration of wanting to be liked, of wanting to be loved, of wanting to be seen, of needing validation, and wanting to people please, do anything and everything so people stay with you, so people don't leave you, because you don't want to be alone, because it is lonely, because you cannot do it by yourself, because you need the people. What you're doing is you're looking for the love that you didn't have as a child. And the problem with being an empath is we go to all the wrong places to find this love. Is that making sense to you, Diane? An empathy can easily turn into a narcissist if they are around them. Yeah, because you absorb everything that the narcissist is doing. Exactly, all of it. Okay, great. If they are around them too long, we can be selfish with giving. So exactly, right? We just copy them. So we manipulate, right? We might not see it. There you go. All your exes were narcissists, because everybody has narcissistic tendencies, and that can be healthy. And I'm not talking about narcissists in the trendy way where everybody is just spewing the word, oh, it's a narcissist. No, right? When you go psychologically in the more mental health and just traumatic way deeper into it, you need to see it in yourself. Am I a narcissist? Of course I am. I have to be able to sit here. Right? And even in loving yourself, in adorning yourself, it can have a little bit of narcissistic habits and behaviors. You are very welcome, user. User 73, number. Put your name. Some people are just not sharing. That's so interesting. Yeah. Yes, we are all right. Those traits we all have. The reason all your exes and all the people that you attracted in your life, Diane, were narcissists, you have to see that whatever it is that is inside of you is what's exactly in them. They are a mirror image of you. Narcissists are emotionally unavailable. You are emotionally unavailable because you don't know, you're still looking for that love. But what you cannot see is that, given the fact that you were raised with trauma, without love, you know how to love, but you just don't know how to channel that love yet, to control it, to use it in a healthy way, right? You don't know how to use it in a healthy way yet. So the narcissist is emotionally unavailable. You are too. Mirror image. They take. You give. Or we give. So they are mirroring what we are. They lie to us. Why? Because we lie to ourselves and they lie to themselves. They believe their lies as narcissists. We as empaths, we do what? We believe in our lies. They manipulate, we manipulate, just like you said. You feel like you have to be nice to be loved. You feel like you have to people please and give and this to be loved. So we lie, we manipulate. And the narcissists, they lie, they manipulate. Mirror image. So when you sit back, you can journal this, you can write it down. I have a Telegram group. You are on my TikTok, so when you go to the link in my bio, there's a Telegram link to my Telegram channel, and I actually created a playlist for shadow work. By the way, do you know what is shadow work? People misuse the word narcissist. Who just didn't do it. Yeah. Yeah, the guy cheats. They immediately say he's a narcissist or he's a cheater. Yes, right? And people misuse all words. No, there's no word that has a meaning anymore. Yeah, you don't know what the shadow work. Now that is the next step. That's if you want to get out of where you are. Because I'm thinking you are stuck even just by that question of, can you talk about abandonment issues, because that can get us stuck. For me, I was stuck in that for a long time. Shadow work, so this person that you are is the idea that you have yourself, right? This person that you are now, that I'm talking to or that's watching me, is the idea you have yourself of yourself from your childhood. Whatever trauma you went through that didn't heal or you haven't gotten over it, arrested development. Now, when you go through the shadow work, it's merging. There's also something called inner child healing. Seeing what it is that your child, the childhood you needed that didn't get, you give that to your child, to your inner child. Now that raises you up. So there's the my thoughts are running faster than I can take it out. But when you join my Telegram group, I can tag you again on the playlist that I created for shadow work, and that's different people. I'm doing very good. Thank you. Sometimes it feels like I'm talking nonsense because it's so fast in my head, and I want to explain it all at the same time, and I know that doesn't work. Oh, I just saw the shadow work prompts. That could help. What is shadow work? Shadow work consists on reflecting on your subconscious repressed. Oh, you're very welcome, Jamal. repressed beliefs and perceptions, and pushing through the resistance to walk through the issues holding you back. Many a time, we don't want to proceed. When you hear somebody say, I always talk about this, right? When you hear somebody say, this is who I am, take me or leave me, I'm never going to change. Run away from those people, because change is constant. We always have to change. So when you walk through whatever issues that you have, where you are able to merge the traumatized you and your higher self is just basically you just being aware of who you are, being aware of your triggers, right? Being able to understand your power, seeing that the love that you didn't have as a child, you just joined. Okay, so when I'm done here, I will bring back, tag you on the shadow work playlist every day. Yes, it happens every day, right? So when you're able to be aware of it, something triggers you, then you're able to sit back and think, okay, this person just said this, and it hurts my soul. So instead of looking outside of you to wonder, why did they say that? Why did they do this? Yada yada yada, blah blah blah. You go deep within. There's the saying, going through the dark night of the soul, going through the dark night of the soul, getting to know yourself, whatever it is that people use. But you step back to see, okay, I am feeling this way right now. Why am I feeling this way? That helps you move forward. Your shadow is your old self, is the childhood you, is the arrested development. Because when you go through trauma, one, it changes your brain. Two, until you pass that stage of understanding and processing what you went through, you have an arrested development. So there's a stage in your life where you still haven't passed, you haven't grown past. So you're stuck in that painful memory, which becomes your personality. You are so educated. Maybe I am educated, or maybe I just went through a lot in my life, right? And I had to go through shadow work, dark night of the soul, to be able to talk about this. Your shadow, otherwise known as your subconscious self, influences how you operate in the world, and in some cases, leaves you unaware of the deeper motives behind your actions. So, what you said, Diane, trying to be nice or having to be nice for people to like you. Most of us were raised in a way, for women at least, right? There is the princess syndrome. We'll talk about this. There's the princess syndrome. There's the romantic novels and all of these things. The prince syndrome. Oh, you princess, and then prince is gonna come and sweep you away. And then the love. Oh, you're going to get swept off your feet, and all these things. And as a woman, you have to be nice. It happens to men as well, as you see, right? So you have to go past that. Do you feel, and I went through this myself, where for years I felt that if I said what I felt, and if I said my truth and what I wanted, people are not going to like me. People are going to hate me. So I only said what people wanted me to say, and I only did what I thought people wanted me to do. You have to get past that. There's a nice syndrome as a child. People are saying, be nice, be nice, be nice. You tell women, oh, you have to be nice. And then you see a little boy who is energetic, creative, a leader as a child, they lead the pack, and people, the parents are trying to tame them. You have to be nice. Don't do that. Calm down. Chill. I know sometimes I do that to my own. But then after I have to explain. It's worse when the child don't understand why they are doing what they're doing, why they have to do the things that the parents are telling them to do. So then they form their own understanding of what it is that the parent is saying. And trauma, this is what happened to us. Our mothers didn't hug us, so we feel they don't love us. For a long time, and I've talked about this, explaining helps the child. Make them understand. I've talked about this a lot, where majority of my childhood, I thought I was adopted. And I would always say to myself, when are my real parents coming? Simply because of what I went through as a child, that trauma. So I always believed that my mother was not my mother, that I had a different mother and a different father. And I was always looking forward for them to come. But my mother's my mother. By facing your shadows, you gain power over them. By facing your shadow is basically facing your triggers, right? So now you have joined my Telegram group, and I'm going to tell you honestly, the things that I share in the Telegram group, it might trigger you, but in a healthy way, in a good way. You felt the same as exactly. I could not believe that she was my mother. Could not. I tried, but I was just like, how can you have a child and treat them this way? But you also have to understand, however your mother treated you is because that's the only way she knows how to treat people. And it's not just you. If you're a people pleaser, she is a people pleaser. That's how she was raised as a child. So that's the generational cycle. That's the generational curse, which carries on. Right? So maybe you are the one who's supposed to break it because you're asking questions and you didn't mistakenly happen to just stumble on my life because this is all I talk about. Maybe this is a question you've been asking for so long, or trying to get out of the position that you are on, to the point that here we are. So however you are, if you look back at your mom, you will see that you are in a way a photocopy of her. Whatever her trauma was is what she gave you. So when I started this work and I look back, I saw that the way I communicated, the way I talked, the things that people always talked about my mother. Oh, she's a nice person. Padmata, Gambia. Sayay dafa ba? That means your mother is good. Your mother is wonderful. On the whole, that's the people pleasing. She wants to take care of everything and everybody, but she cannot take care of herself. So one of the reasons why you want to be nice, for everybody to like you, you haven't loved yourself. You've never seen anybody love themselves, be it man or woman. Nobody around you have shown you, or you haven't seen anyone really revel and bask in their own power, in themselves, in who they are, love themselves. You've never seen it. And because we've never seen it, we think that we need everybody to love us in order for us to be worthy. You see? Exactly. That's what it is. Now, the thing is, your mom just never went past her own trauma. right? So what you said, you being nice, now you said, Mariama, my sister, hi, my shop guy, who is that? Yes, my mom tries to be very nice to everyone. She said she raised herself. Her mom was gone. There you go. There you go. And her mom could have been even home and it would be worse because my grandmother was home with my mom. But her father died. My grandfather died at a very early age. Serin Joe, former JC Faye, Gambia. Greetings. Okay, the Gambian said, tuning in. I love it. I love seeing all the Gambian names. Makes me feel so good. But you see what I'm saying, Diane, right? So now what we have to do, first we'll start with the shadow work, right? Because in the playlist, the people that I added there, Rasta from Ghana. Hi, Rasta. Welcome, welcome. Rastafari. The people that explains it. Hi, Kenya. One love. Right, right, right. I love it. They give you step by step, practical ways of what you can do to go back. Because your dreams and your goals is connected to your childhood. I always talk about how we have an identity, right? We have an idea of ourselves, an idea of who we are. Thank you. Thank you, Rasta from Ghana. We have an idea of who we are, right? When you were born, you were not born with the name Diane. Your mother or father or somebody chose the name and say, we're going to call this child Diane. So doing the shadow work is going back and understanding who you were as a child. You were pure, and I'm not talking pure as the way that it's called in spirituality. Well, in religion, I don't even know. But pure as in as a child, you didn't have any ideas, you didn't have any concepts, you didn't have any beliefs, you didn't have a religion, you came with none of that. The religion you have, the ideas, the perception, how you see the world, how you see yourself, how you look at people was put into you. It was imparted into you. So one is beginning to understand that you are this spiritual being. You are not your trauma. You're not your pain. You are not whatever it is that your parents told you or did to you or didn't do. You're not that. You're much more than that. So touching into that aspect of yourself, right? And then coming to the traumatized child and giving that child the love, the attention, the validation that he needs. I'm not very good with pronouns, so I only use he and she, so forgive me. That he needs. How men do it, I really don't know. Right? So you have to give yourself that. And then, Sharon, and then, right? Then you get out of that. By the time you've given yourself the love, the attention, the validation, you see your self-worth, you've worked on your self-esteem, your confidence is raising up, you believe in yourself more. Now you've gone back to see your dreams, the dreams that you had as a child, the things that you wanted to do but couldn't do, the person that you knew yourself to be. Now you merge all of that together. And then you become a whole new you. And it's not for me, the way I say it, it's not necessarily becoming a whole new you. It's just becoming the person that you've always known that you were. Like when I sit here and talk about these things, and even when I post about them. Last week, I talked about how I connected with a Gambian brother, and he was telling me that, oh, now you are so deep. You talk about all these deep things. And I was like, no, this is not new. I have always been like this. I have always been this Yamafai, this fire. The only difference is, just like you, Diane, the environments that I was in did not help me nurture these skills. Because where I am from, if you're just like the Indian society, if you're not a doctor or a lawyer, you are a failure. Or maybe you become an engineer. And I didn't want to be any of these things. Right? I wanted to do spiritual stuff. I wanted to play with the cowrie shells and go to the old ladies who were doing all this conjuring and all this stuff. Those are the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to like go to the earth and see, you know. I talked about the Jolas from Casamas, because our housekeeper was a Jola, and they would do, it was a Manjago, right? And they would do all these spiritual stuff, and those are the things that always excited me. Nothing else really excited me, so I've always loved it. So it will change you in a way, because you will grow into dying, not the dying now. Anyway, we'll work on that inside the group. But just to tell you, if you're still here and you're still listening, the things that I share in the group, they're going to trigger you. It will not be fun. It will not be easy. But we're there for you, because we're all doing the work, right? It will be painful. Most times it will feel very lonely. But it depends how you interpret it. If you interpret it, it's nothing. I also love spiritual work. Astro. There you go, right? Mostly spiritual people have gone through some kind of trauma. Right? So it's tapping into that. It's tapping into that aspect of yourself. And those things that you like could be an instrument, a powerful tool, especially painting in your healing journey. When I was going through mine, I talked about how I lived in a Zen center, and they had a monastery, and one of the monastics is a painter, is an artist, and so part of the healing journey and the sessions that we had was painting. And most times when we had retreats, we would do free painting, free hand painting. I can't paint. I feel like I'm terrible at it. But they say everybody is an artist. I don't think I am. I can edit though. Right. So in there, you are with us, and we will walk through it. And if you have questions, you can comment and you can ask questions, and we'll talk about it. We're all doing the work together. But like I was saying, it can feel lonely. But I would say, even though we might have to say this over and over, don't see it as loneliness, more of aloneness, as in solitude, right? Not solitary confinement, but solitude, because solitude transforms. When you are able, if you've gone through what you've gone through, when you are able to be alone, enjoy your own company, because the more you enjoy your own company, the more you give yourself love. The less you enjoy your own company, the more you want everybody to give you the love that you're looking for. Nobody can give us the love that we're looking for, the love that we didn't have from our parents, right? In dreams, 2 days prior, I saved with my grandmother. Right. So those are things that you can tap into. Love this powerful message. Hi, thank you, Coach Stormy. Thank you for stopping by. All right, so those are things that you can tap into. Your ancestors, that's a real thing. Tapping into your ancestors. They can also help you in the healing journey, right? Because I had to do that. The pivotal times where I jumped, where what they call quantum jumping or jumping into another reality. However, it's explained were the moments where I sat down with pictures of my grandmother and my grandfather. Both of them passed away. My great grandparents too, and talked to them like I used to talk to them when I was a child, especially my grandmother and my grandfather, right? But as children, most times we get told that these things are what? Demonic, or you should not do that. Or if somebody can talk to the dead, ooh. And I believe that too. So I was always afraid of these things. But when I gave into that, my grandmother died this year, sometime in April, February, March, April-ish, around that time. Is it? Or maybe last year? I can't remember. So not long ago, but I still communicate with her. That can help you a lot in your journey. Okay, I think we're done here unless there's another question. How long have we gone? 1 hour 46 minutes. Hi, Kia. Hey. Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, I'll just tag you to that, but I think we're done here now. Let me just read from here, which is called Don't Sweat the Little Things, and then we close out. You are very welcome, Diane. You are very welcome. All right, it opened at do one thing at a time. You hear that? Do one thing at a time.
Hungry.
Well, I'm nearly done. Juju, maa ngi cool na nga def foo jógee Gambia wala Sénégal soo jógee woon Sénégal dangaa wax noo def. Okay. Hi Omaha Actor. Okay, let me read this and then we close out. Do one thing at a time. I love this book, and I don't know where. Maybe you could find it on Amazon. I don't know. Do not sweat the little things, the small things, and it's all small stuff. Simple ways to keep the little things from taking over your life. So don't give your power away. Cameroon. Oh, hi, Cameroon. Cameroon speaking Wolof. The other day, I was driving on the freeway and noticed a man who, while driving in the fast lane, was shaving, drinking in a cup of coffee, and reading the newspaper. Perfect, I thought to myself. As just that morning, I was trying to think of an appropriate example to point out the craziness of our frenzied society. Fatimata, are you here? The craziness of our society and the things they tell us and do. How often do we try to do more than one thing at once? We have cordless phones that are supposed to make our lives easier, but in some aspects, they make our lives more confusing. My wife and I were at the friend's home for dinner a while ago and noticed her talking on the phone while simultaneously answering the door, checking on dinner, and changing her daughter's diaper after she washed her hands. Of course, maybe some of us don't even. Many of us have the same tendency when we're speaking to someone and our mind is somewhere else, or when we're doing 3 or 4 chores all at the same time. That's the overthinking. Multitasking. You can multitask practically, but you can also multitask mentally, overthinking. Should I do this? No, I shouldn't. I should do that. Maybe not. How will people think? What will people feel? Will they like me? Will they love me? What should I do? And then there's this noise going on in your head, and it's like wah wah, and you can't stop it. And when you are around people who meditate, that's when they tell you, go out in nature, sit out in the sun. The book, yeah. Sit out in nature, sit by the trees, sit under the sun, get some sun, right? But these are things that us as Africans, we take for granted because we have not been raised to appreciate these things. But to heal ourselves, it's basically what we have to go back to. When you saw that post that I did recently, yesterday, in the garden, I actually, we took blankets and stuff and laid down on the rocks on the ground, and I was sitting down there playing with the grass and nearly got stung by the bees and all of that. Well, we need that. We have it. I mean, we have the best nature. In Africa, we have everything, but we have been raised to idealize whatever's happening in the West to the point that we don't see what's happening within our continent. Overthinking. When you do too many things at once, which can also be when you overthink at once, the beach makes me so happy. And that's my escape place when I'm there. Yeah, it used to be for me too. I lived 15 minutes from it, from Senegambia. So after work, I'll get off Senegambia, go to the beach, watch the sunset, and then walk home. When you do too many things at once, it's impossible to be present, to be in the present moment, to be present moment oriented, right? Thus, you not only lose out on much of the potential enjoyment of what you are doing, but you also become far less focused and effective. Many of us who have applied for jobs, you've applied for a job where they say one of the requirements is to be able to multitask. By the time you leave the job and get home, you are drained because your brain cannot jump from one thing to the other the way we have been taught. In the same way, your brain cannot be thinking about so many the same things at the same time and still work. Right. Yeah, multitasking. It went to a point where, for me, I made it my superpower. When I apply for a job, the first thing I say as a strength is I can multitask. Come to realize that's not good. Multitasking. It burns you out. Your brain takes time. When you jump from one thing, when you're doing one thing to the other, you need time. When you do yoga, that's how the yoga teachers teach you. They always say, when you're ready, when your body is ready. And they give you time to transition from one pose to the other, from meditation to waking up, to opening your eyes. An interesting exercise is to block out periods of time where you commit to doing only one thing at a time. It can be hard for a lot of people. For me, sometimes it's very difficult. Whether you're washing dishes, And I've talked about this, how washing dishes is also meditation, right? Thich Nhat Hanh talks about it. When you're washing the dishes, you can meditate while you're washing the dishes. And you have to be there with the dishes, with the sink. Even if you have a dishwasher, still you can be there with the dishwasher, hearing the noise, feeling it. When you open it, you realize, you know, you are aware that you're opening the door of the dishwasher. So you're not just like bang, 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 bang. Sometimes when you stub your toe or a cup falls or you break something, that's an alert telling you that you are not paying attention. Talking on the phone, driving a car, playing with a child, and driving a car. A lot of people love doing this, especially when I'm overwhelmed. Yeah, because it relaxes you. You can feel the water, the soap, the sponge, right? When you're driving a car, a lot of people cannot stand traffic. You have traffic, you run into traffic, and it's a very easy way for you to just lose your mind. Why? Because you're waiting and you should never wait. You are in a hurry and there's really nothing to be in a hurry for. So when you listen to these meditation teachers, they always tell you when you get in traffic, like it says here, driving a car, those moments that you have in traffic, they are good moments to meditate. Or if you're driving and you're listening to personal development, that's the best way. Drive with personal development tapes, CDs, whatever you use now, Bluetooth, your phone, YouTube, listen to that instead of the news. That way, when you run into traffic, you're still enjoying that. Playing with your child, talking to your spouse, talking to our spouse, communicating, talking to our friends. Most of us, many of us, where we don't listen to hear, we listen to respond. You are listening so that the person can shut up and you can say what you want to say, instead of actually listening to hear and understand what the person is saying and what the person needs. Reading a magazine, try to focus only on that one thing. That's another thing we get taught in the real world, right? They make sure that when we focus, they always tell us, don't do anything else. If content creation is what you want to do, you have to shut everything out of your mind. And the only thing that you see and you do is content creation. You can't do it 5 hours a day. You have to do it 24 hours creating content. Even in your sleep, you are creating content. Fatmata, you said you wanted to join the school is intense, but I love it, right? So you just have that one thing in your mind. Why? Because that's how you specialize in it. That's how it becomes you. You embody it, which is why a lot of people, right? We say that femininity, not feminism. Femininity is a way of life. You embody it. Spirituality is a way of life. You embody it. It's not a trend. Being healthy, it's a way of life. You're not eating healthy. You're not trying to be healthy. It's you. It's inside of you. You make it a part of your routine, a part of who you are. You think healthy, you talk healthy, you act healthy. You do everything in a spiritual way. How you act with yourself, how you talk to people, what you do is all rooted in that, right? Same goes for femininity. Femininity is not the clothes you wear, it's not how you talk, it's not how you walk. The same way, right? Being African, Getting back to your roots. It's not the clothes, it's not what you say, but it's you embody it deep within your soul. It comes from within, where even when you don't speak or when you don't dress the part, just your energy speaks volume, right? Focus on one thing. Be present in what you are doing. Concentrate in what you are doing, that one thing that you're doing. If you have a business or whatever it is, you do it all the way. You're not stopping because of inflation. You're not stopping because the news. You're not stopping because coronavirus. You're not stopping because this. You just tune it all out. You might hear it. People will tell you. You might get an update. You update yourself. But even if you don't know, I don't know, but I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, right? Even if you don't know most of the things that's going on, it's good for you. Which is why I like the real world. We don't talk about anything else except making money. If you're in the content creation, we just talk about content creation and money. You're in the business mastery, we just talk about business. Anything else is to break it down in terms of business. You're in the copywriting, we just talk about copywriting. That's it. Nothing else. You will notice two things beginning to happen. First, you will actually enjoy what you're doing, even something mundane like washing dishes or cleaning out a closet. When you're focused rather than distracted, it enables you to become absorbed and interested in your activity, whatever it might be. Second, you will be amazed at how quickly and efficiently you will get things done. Since I've become more present moment oriented, my skills have been increased in virtually all areas of my life. Same for me. Writing, reading, cleaning house, and speaking on the phone. I am so much better at speaking on the phone. I was horrible at speaking on the phone. You can do the same thing. It all starts with your decision to do one thing at a time. Like the person who came on TikTok, I can't remember who it was. Jamal, yeah, Jamal was saying that I am educated. I don't think maybe it's education. I don't think it's education, right? Because when I was doing my healing work, I didn't know that that's what healing is. I didn't know that I was doing healing work. I had no idea I was doing shadow work. All these names, shadow work, being an empath, narcissism, and all, it was later that I realized, oh, this is what it is. Well, now I have a word to put on it. Somebody that I call my mom, not necessarily my mom. She's the director of the early childhood center that my daughter used to be in. Whenever I talk to her, she would always say, I love it. I love it. Keep going. You are doing the work. And I'm just thinking, what work? I'm not doing any work. I don't have a job and I don't want a job. So for me, whenever she says you're doing the work, I'm always thinking she's talking about the job. And I was always say in my mind, I don't want a job. I want my own business. What work am I doing? I swear to you. I didn't know what healing was, didn't know shadow work. I didn't even know that much about depression and anxiety, right? But I was still talking like this. And I was still learning these things. And whenever I talk to her and I explain what I just learned and what I just went through, she would just say, just keep going. You are doing the work. You are doing great. And I will always think in my mind, what work am I doing? And she would just say, just keep going. And then eventually she bought me all these books That's when I understood what mother wound is, father wound is, daddy issues, and childhood trauma, and inner child, and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, this is the work she's talking about. Because I was given presentations and all of that, talking about in school, oh, you want the students to do this, but this is how the students are feeling. This is why we can't do this. You want to retain Black and African students, but then we are in the school and our curriculum is all white supremacistic, not like white people, but the curriculum in itself, talking about all of these things, right? So that's why I always say never hang up. Don't get hung up on the words in itself, because the words in itself are not very important. It's the steps you are taking. It's what you are doing every single day to get yourself closer, to understand what you're listening to, what you're watching, what you talk about yourself, what you write, who you listen to, right? And I know that some of us, our environments is hard and we can't get away from a lot of people, but in your growth, what you can control within yourself, what you do with the things that you can control, is part of doing the work. So I'm not really educated. I just went through a lot of trauma and just focused on it. I focused on understanding trauma so much that it was just that one thing, because it was the only thing that made me feel good, that just it just lit my soul on fire, which is why I say what I'm doing now, it makes me feel good. And even though I say okay, it's enough, and then I start talking and it just starts pouring out. Woo! And it was never planned, because I, like it's saying, do one thing at a time. If you are healing, understanding your trauma, you have to go all in until your soul says okay, it's enough, and your soul wants something else, then you transition to something else, right? But I was so focused on understanding myself and why I do the things that I do and who I am and why I am the way that I am, that it was when I lift up my head and looked around and looked at people that I understood what I was doing. And then now when I talk about it, I get all these labels: educated, gifted, talented, spiritually aligned, and all this stuff. But like we also say in the real world, creativity is not magic. It's learning the basics. It's learning the fundamentals. It's learning the skills so much that you can do it in your sleep. And then when other people see you, they say, oh, you're so creative and you're so gifted. Like the content I post, my my DMs are lit, like I told the kid, right? I'm telling people, buy the products I'm selling. Send me a cash app, right? But they're like, oh, you're creative, you're inspiring, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this, you're doing that. But 1 year ago, I couldn't do any of these things. I wouldn't even come live. Okay. Oh, it's 2 hours, 8 minutes. I got to go. People, I'll see you again here tomorrow. We have to try to make this shorter. I want to make this shorter. It feels good to do, but I want to make it shorter. Unless, of course, people have more questions and bring more questions. Then that helps, right? More than just me. All right. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. It's always a pleasure. Oh, thank you. Darken. Darken. That's an interesting name. Darken 1254. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye bye, everybody.